Hey, what's going on? Jerrad Suarez here. And before we get started with this episode, I wanted to take a second and tell you about JerradShow.com. There you can find every podcast I'm on, including The Jerrad Show, Coco Loco, Call of Cthulhu, Who is Dale Mabry, and more. And coming soon, 2 brand new podcasts, Jerrad Show Radio and Jerrad Suarez Watches Films. Go to JerradShow.com now to make sure you don't miss a single episode, and check it out now, JerradShow.com.
Hey, if you enjoyed Jerrad on this episode of The Jerrad Show, check him out on my show. It's The Call of Cthulhu. Yeah, I'm Satan's spawn, but he's not, and it's cool. Check us out at callofcthulhu.com.
Jerrad, you sound like a real nice guy. You're not a bit, are you, Jerrad? Like you're a real guy who asks these questions really. You're not some guy out there playing a role on the radio who asks questions that I answer about 20 times a week anyway. This isn't a bit for you, right?
It's time for The Jerrad Show. Here's your host, Jerrad Suarez.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for another episode of The Jerrad Show. I'm so glad to be back with you. Listening to this music, God, every time I hear it, I just get pumped. So tonight, we've got a guest on the show for you, as always. But guess what? Tonight is a little bit more fucking face-melting of a guest. FamilyJules7X joins me on the show tonight. Jules, what's going on, man?
How you doing, dude?
I'm doing pretty awesome. I'm really stoked to have you on the show. For anybody that doesn't know, let's start this show off right now. Anybody who doesn't know who FamilyJules7X is, he's probably one of the best video game music guitar cover artists out there. Man, just every single one of your songs that I've heard lately, and even the stuff that goes far back, is just, man, it's awesome. You can really write some kick-ass shit.
Thanks, man. Well, arrange it at least, right?
Well, it seems that you take the music that's been created for these video games that's just so nostalgic. Everybody's got this 8-bit music that's stuck in their head from the 90s. I mean, we all lived in these levels for a long time. And to hear somebody with, as much musical talent as you have, take them and just really amp them up, man. I really can't even think of anything else to say. It's just so awesome to see the kind of, the stuff that you can create with, just taking old shit and adding your shit to it, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was that kid too, stuck in those levels. So it's kind of like my, what do you call it? It's my letting out, my like I get nostalgic, playing this stuff. So I can only, imagine, I listen to other guitarists too, who do it, and I get the same feeling that I feel like most people get from my stuff, watching, somebody cover music from a game that I played as a kid. So no, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. You mentioned a couple other guitar. What was the actual genre called? Is it video game cover music? Like, where do you label yourself with this?
I couldn't tell you, man. I mean, some people would refer to me/us as remixers, as I wouldn't call it that, because when I think of remix, I think of like and like putting like Song of Storms over it or something like that,
or like Timbaland's doing something with it.
Dubstep. Yeah, I don't know. like that's not really. I mean, it's. I think of it more kind of like just arranging. I mean, maybe it's just like the majority of remixes are electronic. So in my head, like when I think of arranging, I think of like, a bunch of dudes with like cellos and violins or something, like real instruments. And, I feel like, well, at least electric guitar is kind of like that middle ground between like an acoustic instrument and, well, I mean, an electronic instrument. So it may be something in the middle of arranger. I mean, I don't want to sound like artiste. Oh, yeah, say arrange music. No, like, just, I don't know what you'd call it. Video game guitarist cover guy.
Yeah. It's difficult because it's so much coming in at once to actually try to put a label on it. It's just like, it's so much coming together. It's like an explosion of different labels. You can't put one name down on it. You can't, I mean, it's metal, but it's at the same time, it's orchestral in some instances. It's
Right.
That's one of the fun things about video game music, which I'm sure you definitely know about.
Maybe it's more. Sorry if you were about to.
No. Go ahead.
Tag that. Just like, maybe it's more like it's just a way of playing metal. I mean, you've got what was that Ailstorm with like pirate metal and like just like orchestral metal. I mean, video game metal. I guess like the thing is like so many other people who do this, like they all have their influences. They all have different influences from me, from other people. So when they put their metal rock spin on video game music, they're kind of bringing together a lot of different elements. So I almost think in that aspect, it's just arranging the music for metal. I wouldn't really call it a genre.
Yeah, man, it definitely still sticks in the metal genre. Now, who are your like real influences in the metal genre aspect of the
Oh,
thing?
dude, I've been addicted lately, no pun intended, to Devin Townsend.
Okay.
Called addicted, so yeah, Devin Townsend I've been listening to a lot lately. As
Now,
far
tell
as
listeners a little bit about Devin Townsend if they don't know. Like,
he's I mean, he plays kind of, I hate using the term progressive because that puts on a whole other, progressive metal isn't necessarily progressive anymore, in my opinion. But
right.
I would say it's progressive and, he kind of goes outside the box a little bit. Not necessarily like Dream Theater or Meshuggah, both of which I love. But I would say, I mean, his background is he used to be the lead singer and I think lead guitarist of Strapping Young Lad, which was a pretty brutal metal band that I used to listen to as well. But yeah, it's kind of just his solo project. He does a lot of crazy stuff, and every album's different. But his stuff hits so hard, and like that's what I want. I want to when da 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 da, and then when the next note hits, I want you to feel like you just got kicked in the face by Mario.
Yeah, dude, and that happens a lot on your songs. I find
thanks.
A lot of your stuff will come with like some of them will start with a smooth, jazzy, almost acoustic kind of thing, and they just really kind of lull you into it, and you're like, oh, that's that Ecruteak City song from back in Gold and Silver, and then just slammed with like the heaviest metal. It's really awesome, dude.
From a musical point of view, I've always been an advocate for the belief that the way to create that kind of feeling to hit the hardest is you have to use contrast your disposal. Like if you want something to hit hard, put them in a really comfortable, soft like cloud of jazzy or classical guitar or something, and then hit them out of nowhere. And I mean, if it's done right and not like, if it's, I guess out of nowhere is a bad thing because if it's just randomly in the middle of a bar, but like, like if it hits hard like that, then it hits harder than if you just press the play button and then bam, it's just like metal in your face immediately. So that's kind of why I do that, and also because I want to make people who only listen to metal also appreciate other genres too. So that's
totally cool because I'm a big, I'm all over the board with music. I enjoy acoustics. I've been playing guitar since I was 14 years old, so that makes it
me too.
like 17 years or 13 years or something like that now. So I've been playing a long time. So I'm all across the board with different styles of music and stuff. And here you take something like the jazz or like the piano riffs that you do and integrate them with like the heaviest metal that I've ever heard. It's really, really kick ass. And that's really cool how you do like, how you get that blend, man. It's funny because you say that it's like, you set it up for somebody to be comfortable and then bam, you just shock them. But that's like across the board, entertainment wise, all over the place. When you're making it like a TV show or a movie or anything like that, that's always what you want to kind of do is get the audience comfortable and then just surprise the shit out of them. And that makes more makes more of a connection to the audience and makes them kind of feel like it's they're a part of the journey, really.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's all about evoking emotion, right? I mean, that's what I gather.
Yeah, dude, definitely evoking some emotion out of these songs. Speaking of evoking emotion, the first time that I've ever heard one of your Street Fighter covers, which are awesome, all listeners need to check out all of the cover songs by Jules. At YouTube, FamilyJules7X. Is that how it is typed out or whatever?
Yeah, that's it. Family
Cool.
Jules number 7X.
Yeah, dude. Well, definitely check out all of those. Right now, though, I want to take a second and play something that the listeners might be a little bit familiar with. Sometimes you hear it on the end of this show, the outro, but it's definitely showcased over on Coco Loco. The Ken's theme from Street Fighter it's awesome. I want you listeners to take a listen to this, and we'll be right back with it after it's off. All right, that was Ken's theme. Dude, that song right there, man, I got to tell you, there's a reason why it came to become the song for Coco Loco.
Yeah.
The host of the show, Coco the Destroyer, is a huge 80s game fan, right? Mm-hmm. And when I proposed the idea of the show to him, and I told him that he could select his own music, he was like, man, I want Kid's theme immediately, just Ken's theme, just the straight 8-bit music. And I was like, man, that's really fucking awesome, but I think there's somebody that you need to check out. So I went and I found your version of Ken's theme and played it for him, and he was like, his jaw dropped. He was speechless.
Wow.
Because I'm sure you get this a lot with people that lived in these games, man. Like we said earlier, we spent a lot of our childhood in these levels, but these people that like Coco, who spent hours and hours and hours just playing Ken, and you know that was, you know, put into his head, and then when you delivered that content, it just completely exploded it. Now, if you could take us through like the process of how you actually like get through a song. That's totally cool. How you like get a song, like where do you get the idea from? Obviously they're, you know, a bit of nostalgia, but how do you take it from the 8-bit and get to what we get?
Well, first of all, like deciding a song, well, I usually have a little list on my iPhone that just embarrassingly went off, but I rarely ever, like, I have a list of things that I like. I'll sit there and I'll be like, oh, that'd be really cool to do. Oh, that'd be really cool to do. Put them all on a list. Usually when I'm done with a cover and I'm trying to think of like what to do next, usually it's something that like isn't even on the list. Like well, Ken's theme, all the Street Fighter stuff, like I meant to get around to in my first 2 years of weekly videos, and I just never did. And I was like, you know what? Shit, I should probably get on that. So usually deciding covers is random. You know, it's my biggest number one rule is never to cover a song from a game I've never played, because I think that ruins the not the style of it, more just I don't get the same feeling out of it, you know? Like I think it's really important to know what the game is like and to like the, well, not necessarily like the game. I mean, even if you hate the game, I mean, there's an emotion right there, but to put that through, you know, through the cover and try to, you know, that's the emotion that you want to share with others. And I mean, I feel like that's what all good music does, right?
Yeah, totally. And it feels like what you're trying to do is when you select a song like that, you are going to put something out there that somebody's going to relate to. And if you as the artist can't relate to it, you never play the game. What's the whole thing behind it? There's nothing really, you know?
Oh, yeah, man.
But that's pretty interesting, that, you know, you would write actual lists down and stuff. Like, how long do you like think of a song until you actually like produce it?
Well, when I have a week to do it, I don't have much time to do that. I don't have a whole lot of time to be like, you know, like, maybe I should do this. Oh, I'll decide tomorrow. No, it's usually like, well, I guess I'm doing that one. You know, like sometimes it'll be one that's just been sitting in my head for like or not even the longest time, like a really short amount of time. And I'm like, I'm pushing everything back. I got to do this one now. Let me quickly. I think that there was a recent one that I did that, and I was just like, I had to move everything. Yes, I did a song from the Stanley Parable earlier, I think in early January. I had like just played the game, and I think I just finished my EP, Snowstalgia, which we can talk about later. But like,
we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to it. And like I was like, I just finished it, and I was like, I was so tired. I was like, oh god. I sit down, and I'm just like, you know, I'm gonna play some Stanley Parable. I heard that was a good game. I heard this track, and I was like, I gotta cover this song. I gotta cover this song right now. Forget, you know, I had Far Horizons from Skyrim next. I was like, you know, fuck that song. I'm doing Following Stanley right now. So, I mean, you know, that'll happen. But I try to keep structured. It doesn't really work out.
Now, you are like a big, you have to have something done every week. You're really big on the schedule. Does that ever, like, cause problems with you? Like do you ever find yourself like at the last minute going fuck, or like is there any problems with it?
Only about every week. Well, I mean, the whole thing was like, you know, I guess it's kind of like a self-motivating kind of thing of just like, you know, if I can't follow my schedule, like how in the hell am I going to follow somebody else's schedule? So, and I mean, this is something I've been doing for the past you know, 2010 is when I started, mid 2010, so about, you know, almost 4 years ago, I started doing this, and I mean, you know, with anything music, you know, you're sitting there, you're tweaking this one little thing and trying to get it right, and, you know, that takes forever, and, you know, it's getting to be the last minute, and you gotta, like, let go of stuff, so, yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely, like, towards the last minute. Usually I release every Tuesday. You can bet every Monday night I'm scrambling to get something done. I mean, I've learned to kind of like backlog, but then I start taking advantage of the backlog, and then I start getting back to normal.
Yeah.
And so, it does cause problems. I'm still a, full-time college student, also giving guitar lessons every once in a while, and, all the other things of life going on. So
that's definitely cool, man. That you're giving guitar lessons out there, and you're doing the school thing. What school are you going to?
I'm going to a community college. It's I'm a music major. I'm studying classical guitar currently.
Oh, awesome.
That's why there's so much classical guitar in my videos lately. But yeah, it's great. Because, I'm not going to go... I live in the same state as Berkeley. I live in Massachusetts, but, I kind of figure, I'm not going to go to Berkeley to learn how to what a C sharp is, because I can learn that at a community college for, a very small fraction of that price. So, I just said, fuck it, go to community college. There's a reason behind that. But, yeah,
is Berkeley
It's pretty much like one of the most prestigious music colleges. Like everybody who's anybody apparently went there, and it's totally not true. But whatever.
Right. Well, since you're close, is that one of your aspirations to eventually go there?
It was. You slowly start realizing that it's not all about the education. It's not all about the just knowing the stuff. It's so much about contacts and on-field experience. You can sit in a classroom and you can learn every nook and cranny of, every song ever. But then when you actually go out and, you can still have no idea what the hell's going on. So I just figure, I'll get some education. I highly encourage everybody to get a little bit of education. I don't say I don't know. It depends, case by case, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to, well, yeah, you never know.
Yeah, I don't want someone who's I'm dying and I'm poor and lonely because FamilyJules7X said some shitty advice in the podcast one time about not going to school.
Yeah, no, I threw all my money away to school. Damn you, Jules7X.
Yeah. Oh man.
So you basically you have this schedule. Every week you put something out. Now, has there ever been a time that you've put something out that you might not have been 100% happy with?
Way more than I care to admit.
Oh no! What's one of the recent ones? And do you get called on that? Do other guitar players and musicians call you out on it?
Oh yeah, all the time. That's what happens when you put any kind of art on the internet. I've always been I think personally, I think it's really important for an artist to know their personal weaknesses and stuff. I think one of my biggest weaknesses is my guitar tones. Lately I've been freaking out over trying to get my tones right and trying to get everything to sound good with each other, and always trying to top myself from the last video. But one of my biggest complaints through all the years has been guitar tone and stuff like that. But you get every guitarist gets the guy who's just oh, you should use your pinky more. It's
oh god,
come on. Get fucked.
Yeah,
and
finger placement. Shit.
Yeah, it's oh god. And the basic stuff I'm trying to think of anything that's not fake and gay faggot, no, I'm trying to actual criticism that
right.
Oh god, I don't know, just basic stuff. But
yeah.
Tones is probably one of the biggest things. It's definitely crunched down a lot. People knows, especially I released a new video today. I did a Donkey Kong Country 2 guitar medley, and I would say that my tones were fairly good in comparison to my other videos, but I'm still not 100%. Then again, if you're not a guitarist listening to this podcast, you will never know the struggle of trying to get that perfect tone.
Yeah, well, what do you mean by tone for the listeners that don't play any kind of instrument? Are you meaning just the sound of the instrument that?
Yeah, the sound, the timbre, the way that all my guitars,
resonance.
Right, the way that all the guitars sound, but still have the ability to sound good all together, in a big mix. You've got, you've got. At any given time in any of my videos, you probably got 5 or 6 guitar tracks going on at once. Because rhythm guitars you usually record multiple times and then pan them in different ways. It's just a studio trick. and then you got lead guitars going on, a bass guitar going on, and then when you put drums on top of that, sometimes strings and big, everything gets really muddy and, full. So you gotta make room, you gotta get a good guitar tone and then start taking frequencies out of that great guitar tone so that you can make room for the, the triangle and this, it sucks.
Yeah, definitely. Now, how difficult is it for you being a guitar player and having to arrange all those different instruments?
It's honestly, it's wonderful. I feel like not a lot of people get that experience, and especially in the past, if you went down the road of being a guitarist, maybe someone would let you sit at the drum kit every once in a while, but I'm an awful drummer. I'm terrible, but I've sat here and I've arranged drums for, at this point, over 150 covers. That's multiple, probably multiple hundred songs individually, and so I've got to kind of study, some of my favorite drummers and try to replicate that stuff. So that's a whole nother thing that I'm working that I think is wonderful. I think, I don't know what I'm trying to
say. We totally get it, man. I know you put a lot of work into it, and it definitely shows, man. Some of the stuff that you've put out, especially this year, it's really, really just, if you can even just go back and check out, year 1 and year 2, just the difference from then to now, a lot of being the camera.
God, I used to record with an iPhone, man. For the first half of year 1, I used to prop my my iPhone up against I think I had a camera stand or whatever, but it was super shitty, and I think there was one week where I literally duct taped the thing to the thing, and then I had a mirror so I could see what I was doing from the other side. And, it was fun.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It's funny how, we get these ideas to do these things and put our stuff out there. When I started doing this podcast, I did the exact same thing. I found a little app on the iPad and just literally started putting my stuff out like that, just recording it on an iPad. And that's one of the biggest things out there, I think, is just start putting content out there. No matter what you have, use what you can and just get it out there.
Yeah,
people will start listening to that stuff.
Yeah, dude. People, ask me all the time. They're like, "Oh, all I've got is this shitty webcam and a guitar that is $200. But I want to start doing what you're doing." I'm just like, "What's stopping you? Go for it!" Just sure you don't have the best equipment. I didn't start out with the best equipment. I still don't have the best equipment. I still got I use for my lighting I still have a little one of those lamps you get at Bed Bath and Beyond. I've got I still it's never gonna feel pro. So stop trying to get to a point where you you have the equipment to be a professional. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, until you're getting paid, somebody pays you, then you're not a professional. So.
Yeah. So just go for it the best you can, and understand that people are not looking for perfection. People are always gonna criticize you and whatever is, it's just part of the nature of, putting your stuff out on the internet. But what I feel like a lot of people, and this is for any kind of art, I'm not talking just music or even I'm even talking about trades. People are worried that and they're trying to get out there, trying to sell themselves and get, recognition. And they have this thing in their head that oh, this guy's better than me. Who's going to want me to do, who's going to want me to paint cars, but the thing is people aren't looking for the best. People are looking for a certain skill level, and it's vast. So the best thing you can do is get off the couch, stop watching fucking CSI and do that thing that you want to do. And even though it's gonna suck, what do they say, sucking is the first step to being kind of sort of good at something. Yep. Just do it, man. Seriously, I'm still just a fucking spiky-haired douche in my bedroom playing video game music. And now on a podcast, I've got, almost 100,000 subs. Just do it, man.
Yeah, man. That's one of the big things about, I think, YouTube and just the internet is that people seem to be so starved for content right now, and the fact that there's just a plethora of just as much as you could possibly think of. I mean, there's independent films, there's independent television shows, there's independent I mean, there's all kinds of little things going on YouTube, like TV shows, like these things that look like they should be, you know, making money for this. Like, they're really putting a lot of production into this, and like, it's just everywhere right now. So if you have ever thought about creating some sort of content, even just had that little inkling inside of you, just go ahead and do it, man, because I mean, look at you. I mean, you started off doing, you know, just, you know, guitar covers in your bedroom, and now you've got, you know,
still doing guitar covers in my bedroom, but I have
but you've got a lot of recognition now. A lot of people know who you are, man, and a lot of people are digging your stuff, dude.
Yeah, which is wild for me to even think about. But and that's the thing. I mean, just do it, you know.
Definitely, man. You're never gonna get started unless you actually just get out there and do it.
Yeah, man.
But what I wanted to jump to right now is absolutely probably my favorite of your covers, and we spoke a little bit about it earlier. It's Critique City from Gold and Silver. That game was fucking awesome.
That was one of the reasons I did a year 3, because I remember like getting to the end of year 2 and be like, yeah. Oh, shit. I really love Critique. I should have done that one. Well, guess we're doing a year 3.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad you did, man. So let's go ahead and play this for the listeners. We'll come back, talk a little bit about it, and then I definitely want to get into Snowstalgia and how that all went.
Cool.
All right, man. And here is the song. right, that was Ecritique City from Pokemon Gold and Silver. Damn. That song right there, just the way that you go in from the soft acoustic and the piano, just switch it right back over, just like we were talking earlier. It's, man, you really have some talent right there to do that kind of shit.
Thanks.
God, it's awesome. All right, let's get into this. We've showed the listeners a little bit about the songs and the stuff that you do and the stuff on YouTube and stuff. But let's talk about something that's pretty exciting that happened last, I guess, December. Mm-hmm. You released an EP.
Yeah.
Snowstalgia. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, man. I guess what oh God, what sprung the idea? I think it was one of those things where I was just like, I've never released an album or anything. And like people are always like, oh, where can I buy your stuff? And I'm like, what, you don't just want it for free? I give it out for free. And, people are like, no, I want to support you. And I'm like, you're weird. So, okay. I guess, December was coming around and I was like, well, I've got all these Christmassy covers, planned out. I had, plans to do, Snowboard Kids 2, and then, Cool Mountain, like just, a bunch of wintry, not necessarily like Christmas, Santa Claus, whatever covers, but, and then I was thinking, I was like, I've done some wintry covers before too, and I could like remaster them. So, I mean, I'm doing the covers anyways. Why don't I just put them all together as fast as I can and then put them all in an album and release them during December and, just have like a Christmas album or something like that. I can't even remember why I decided to do it, but I did. So I made a Christmas album and I released it through Louder, which is a new platform for, really, I mean, I think some people think that it's only for cover like artists, but it's not. It's well pretty much what their appeal is that if you are a cover artist, you can they'll like license it for you. And I was I knew some of the guys in it from before because we met at that year's MagFest, which I'm a huge fan of. MagFest is just a music and gaming convention in near DC in Maryland, but so I was like, oh, this would be the perfect opportunity. I'll be able to put some music together, have like an EP for, whatever. And, people could, buy it and, put however much money they want into it. So I did, and it was a ridiculous success, apparently.
Yeah,
the guys at Louder was like, dude, this is like one of our best-selling albums. What'd you do? I'm like, I don't know. I just made video game songs metal in a Christmassy way.
Yeah, they were definitely awesome songs. Any listeners that didn't get a chance to check it out, go to Louder and pick it up. But you did mention one of the songs that was on there, which was Snowboard Kids 2, mm-hmm. which when I saw that you did that, it blew me away because I was like, Snowboard Kids 2? What? Like nobody played that game.
Right.
There was
that's...
I think it sold only 100,000 copies like worldwide. Like,
yep.
Where the hell did you get that idea from to do Snowboard Kids and 2 nonetheless?
Dude, that was I was one of those 100,000. That's why. No, let's see. I must have been like 11 or 12 or whatever. I played Snowboard Kids 1. And, like, that was, like, the best racing game. Like, we didn't have Diddy Kong Racing or Mario Kart or anything. Like, we had that one. We just used to play the shit out of that. And then I did a medley for that, I think, in my second year? I don't remember. But I did a medley for it, and people were like, oh, my God, you gotta do Snowboard Kids 2. I was like, there was a Snowboard Kids 2? What? How did I not know this as a kid? So, like, I went out. I think I actually went to MagFest, and I bought Snowboard Kids 2. I played a little bit on Twitch, but then I was like, I really want to play this on my own. So I played a little bit on my own. I got the feel of it. I heard the music. It was absolutely, I knew it was going to be amazing, and I did the music for it. So that's how.
Yeah, man, it turned out really kick-ass.
Thanks. I'm glad.
Because I had no idea what the song even was in the first place, but it was definitely a kick-ass metal song. So
yeah, the thing with those covers is they're not well known, as you said. Exactly. So, I mean, you either have the people who have no idea what the game is, or the few people who do know that are gonna flip the fuck out because you did that game, you know? Like, so I'm always like, I love it when people are like, dude, like, nobody would do this. Like, I'm like, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and that's really, really difficult to come up with something that you're like, man, because you can't even come up with it because it's really just like basically the stuff that you've already played. So it's wow, that's really really crazy how things come together like that, because you would never expect, you know, some random ass game like that to be, you know. I definitely can see how people flip the fuck out when they see Snowboarders 2. That's so random. Man,
what it comes down to is, you know, I'm not doing this for views. I'm not doing this for, you know, so why am I going to do a bunch of mainstream stuff? Like, I see, you know, I'm not going to say any names, but I see YouTubers, and, you know, they're only doing Gangnam Style. They're only doing Nyan Cat. They're only doing the stuff that's popular and trending right now. And that's not what I'm doing. I'm not making covers so that people can watch them. I'm making covers because I fucking love making covers.
Yeah,
that's what it boils down to.
Now, let me get a little bit into interesting topics, a little craziness. Here we go.
All right.
You just did something on YouTube which I haven't seen from anybody else. You offered up a challenge to your subscribers to put together a medley of video game music of their choice, and it had to be along the same lines as the stuff that you do, with being the 8 to 10 minutes and the week timeline deadline that you have. Now, I look through the playlist that you have, and you got a lot of really kick-ass responses. Now, did you see that coming at all?
No, not at all. Like, oh man, I made the results video this week. I had to cut, or maybe it was last week, but I had to cut so much of the video of me just literally gargling balls so hard of just like, it was all amazing, and I cried, and it was amazing, like, talent, and I said amazing like 50,000 fucking times, and like, oh man, it was like, but yeah, like, you know, the whole thing was, I mean, the very, very, very small piece of the pie was, you know, like, look what I have to do. Like, now you guys can see it. No. But no, the biggest thing was I wanted to share with people that when you set yourself to a deadline, especially a ridiculous deadline, what you can accomplish, because you don't have time to mess with little shit, like shit that's not going to matter in the end. If you structure your time so that, like, okay, I cannot spend any more than a day arranging this thing. I can't spend any more than a day mixing and mastering this thing. I gotta get this done. Then you start to realize, like, okay, what's really important here? I mean, is this one accidental and this random improv solo really worth the 7 hours it's going to take to redo it, rewrite it until I'm happy with it? No, like, you finally start realizing, you know, what's important. I wanted to share that with people. I wanted to share the importance of putting yourself to a deadline. And apparently it was a huge success, because people kept coming to me like, dude, you're totally right. Like, I'm so inspired now to just, you know, make so much more music because you did this. And like, that's just like, I mean, you know, I'm on the floor, like, you know, foaming at the mouth. I'm so excited that people like are, you know, it's just like, that was the whole point. And, you know, I above succeeded, and, you know, got to see, you know, a good 100 people who are definitely going to far surpass me at making video game covers in the future. But yeah, and like, the judge panel was two other guys who do the same thing I do, CS Guitar 89 and Artificial Fear, along with Grant Kirkhope, the guy who composed Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Donkey Kong 64, Viva Pinata. Yeah. You know, we're tight, whatever. No,
that's awesome.
He got a hold of me. I did one of the Donkey Kong 64 medley, and he got a hold of me. So, you know, for this contest, it was like, hey, you know, there's probably gonna be a lot of people, you know, covering songs from your game. Would you want to judge it? And he, you know, he's like the nicest guy in the world. And then, you know, the other nicest guy in the world who ties with him, Danny Baranowski, the guy who composed for Super Meat Boy.
Oh, awesome.
Binding of Isaac. He was also on the thing. He actually, I got to fly out and hang out with him for a week while the contest was going on and while it was ending. So him and I literally just got to sit and watch all of the submissions, and we're both just like jaws on the floor, just like can't believe the amount of talent that's out there right now, and needed just that push to be like, make a medley in a week, go do it, and it was really amazing. Not nearly what I pictured it was going to be like.
Yeah, how hard was the judging process on that? Because, I mean, just from your standpoint, how many videos did you have to be like, man, you are fucking awesome. Yeah. I feel so bad that I can't give everybody a fucking win.
That was the big thing. Like, there was a bunch of people, I'll even name Richard E.B. did a X and Y medley, Jay Parecki. Oh, God, there's so many that just, Nintendo Cord, like, so many that I couldn't even... I didn't even have room to put in an honorable mention that just blew me the fuck away. Arnie Undercover. I feel bad now because there's a huge list too that I'm just gonna totally forget. But no, a lot of the judges were just like, dude, I can't judge this. Like there's 50 of these people that deserve first place. Like I can't. Like it was ridiculous. And so what I ended up doing was I forced everybody to give me their top fives. I did a point system. I said, first place gets 3 points, second and third gets 2, all this stuff, and that seemed to work out the best. But then I had all these other really great videos that didn't place that I was like, okay, these guys got to get honorable mention because holy shit, it was rough, man.
Now, obviously you got a lot of good submissions.
Uh-huh.
Did you get anything that was just like, why did you send this to me, dude? Was there anybody that was just really bad?
No, not really. I mean, there was a few that were, I would not say amazing.
Well, we don't have to name names or anything, so
right. Right. No, I'm not worried. I just, there were a few that didn't, blow me away, but every single video was clearly somebody putting their absolute best forward to try to. And that was the thing. I didn't want people to appeal to me. I didn't want people to appeal to any of the judges. I just wanted them to be. I mean, it probably wasn't a good thing that I picked such a crazy team of judges to do this, but I wanted people to be the best that they could be, and not try to be the best that they could be for somebody else. And I think that was extremely prevalent, and that's what made them all so good. I mean, everybody did the best that they can do.
Yeah, definitely. I saw a lot of different kinds of people that entered. Were you surprised at just the amount of different people, different styles of music? Just there was all kinds of different stuff.
But I think my biggest surprise was just how vast around the world it got out to how many people of different nationalities entered.
You didn't get some guy from India sitting there with a sitar playing,
dude, I would have fucking loved that, right? Dude.
God damn it.
Or a shamisen or taiko drums on a mountain and shit. Dude, I would totally be down for any of that shit. But no, seriously, people from Europe, and I mean, I think a few people from South America and all over the States, and basic stuff, but it's just to think that I, from my room, with covered in posters of mostly bands I don't even like anymore, put on a camera and said, make a medley. And these people in fucking Europe and South America are okay. I can't even express to you how crazy that is to me.
Yeah, dude, it's definitely, man, the age we live in now with the connecting of people all across the world is crazy. Case in point, this show right here. I'm able to get in touch with you, and I mean, a couple of years ago this would have been a little bit harder, but now just because everybody's out there and everybody's just trying to put a little bit of something out there, it's really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go in to one more thing. Actually, you know what? Let's not move past this real quick. I got one more question.
Yeah, what's up?
We were talking about the contest, the challenge, and how awesome it was, and how many submissions you got. What, if any, did you take away from this challenge to put into your next challenge? What did you take away from it?
Well, I thought that something like this would keep the submissions down to to like a easy number to judge, but I was very, very, very mistaken. So I think for the next challenge, it's going to be a little bit, this. If I do a cover, I'm not even saying I'm going to do that you have to make a cover, but like something a little bit shorter, but something with a little bit crazier of a limitation. Like I've been playing around with ideas of like, like you got to make a cover, but you have to do it on a, cowbell or something. It's just something like that. Like, not necessarily that, but
That would be awesome. A full Christopher Walken
right
cowbell. That would be awesome.
So Zelda.
Well, what games are out there really that had a big part of your childhood that you haven't really touched yet, or have you really just got out there and got a lot of the games? Maybe there might be a level or something still there, but what have you left?
Pong, dude. I still haven't done a Pong cover. Pong. No,
I guarantee you, your Pong cover would be fucking kick-ass, dude.
All right, I'll do it. I'll do a Pong cover. Fuck it. What's stopping me? Just do.
Exactly.
What were we just talking about? Just do it. I'm just gonna make a Pong cover.
I don't even know how you would do that. Honestly, you could probably take like a rubber mallet and hit the back of your guitar while muting the front fret of the strings, and you get like a wang kind of sound.
Maybe, yeah, like the springs on the Floyd Rose or the whammy bar, like definitely, yeah. Dude, look at this. We're doing it right now. Dude, I've done probably close to 500 video game songs by now. If you include all the ones in medleys and stuff. I might be overshooting it a little bit, probably something close to 300 something, but and still there is always going to be stuff that I want to do. For some reason, like every once in a while I'll be like, "Oh no, I've done all the video game songs. What do I do now?" But then, I'll realize a whole bunch of others that I just haven't even touched, like Street Fighter. I played Street Fighter a lot as a kid, and I never did any Street Fighter covers. So I was like, I'm going to do that this year. I'm trying to think if there's anything in particular, man. So much Zelda, man. I've always wanted to do Ganondorf. I think it's Ganondorf Battle. It's in some stupid time signature. I've kind of shied away from it, but one day I'll take it on.
Like the legend, like the Ocarina of Time Ganondorf
yeah,
battle?
I mean,
is awesome.
It is awesome. It's a rearrangement of the original Ganondorf theme in like the stupidest time signature ever. It's like 20.
Holy shit.
27-16, I think. It's alternating 14 and 13-16.
Wow.
It's fucked up, man.
Now, who wrote that song?
Koji Kondo, man.
Okay.
The man, the legend. Well, I mean, I did, but see, I'm always like looking at stuff like that. Maybe like Hollow Bastion from Kingdom Hearts has a really ridiculous. Well, it's not that. I think it's like 5/8, like something weird. But like I've always been bad with time, and especially with some of my more recent covers, I've been trying to do a little bit more stuff with polyrhythms and stuff to try to stop being bad at rhythm, I guess I could say. But yeah, there's a bunch of ones that like I've shied away from early on, and I have yet to hit up. But as for like I've done them all, man. every cover that like was just like engraved in my head hard, I did it, and anything from Jet Force Gemini, I think I still have a few left to do from there. Anything from Banjo-Kazooie, F-Zero X, those N64 titles, since like that's what I came home to from school every day to, and pop on the N64 and go nuts.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I can't think of anything right now. I mean, obviously without giving away covers that are in the immediate future.
Fuck that. Let's give away a couple of covers that are in the immediate future. No, not seriously, but like Like what do we have to look forward to? Like, is it going to be more old stuff, or is it going to be like more current stuff, like Skyrim and Oblivion, or like what do we have to look forward to?
Look at, I'm thinking about what I have coming up. It's a lot of old stuff right now. I really I try to keep it like very varied, like I did like Old Snake theme from Metal Gear Solid 4 recently, or 3. What the fuck was it? Yeah, it was 4. Metal Gear Solid 4. Some Medal of Honor stuff, and I always like try to trinkle that stuff in with the Pokemon or the SNES stuff, like Donkey Kong Country or NES titles and stuff like. So probably I'll remember something and throw it in. As I said earlier in the show, I could have a long list, and that doesn't mean necessarily those are the covers that are going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. As somebody who does like shows and stuff, like when I'm writing down topics and little stuff to talk about in the show, there's at least 90% of the page that never gets talked about. So yep. I think it's just like it's more of like just give you a little bit of backbone to fall back onto if anything happens. But
yep.
You totally want that spontaneous interaction and stuff like that. And I think that might come straight from your brain right to your fingers into the guitar.
I hope so.
I sure seem like it. It sure seems like it from my point of view.
Cool.
I got 2 more questions that I wanted to ask you before we get out of here. What started you in video games? Like, what was the first game that really dragged you in? What was the first console, the first system, the first character, all that?
Duck Hunt. I'm pretty sure I walked into the room and saw like somebody in my family shooting a screen with that fucking gun. I'm like, what are you doing? And then they're like, oh, we're playing Duck Hunt. Come try it. And I did. And I mean, that, the original Legend of Zelda, NES, man. That's where I started.
Cool, man. So it was like Zelda was like the main start when you get into it, like a store. Like Duck Hunt is like competitive and all that stuff. You're playing with people off screen.
Dad's story arch.
Yeah, Zelda's got that story that you just get sucked into. It's one of those console games that we as kids gave our lives to. So
yep. No, yeah. Yep. Zelda, Mario. Played more Zelda than Mario.
Do you find that people that play Zelda more than Mario are different than the people that played the Mario and Zelda? Or the Mario a lot?
Well, I mean, I think it also depends on what you're looking for in a game. I mean, Mario is just such an awesome like platformer. Just like here's the goal. Do it. And I feel like the gamers that originated with Zelda might be more apt to exploration games like Skyrim. Not necessarily. I'm trying to get out of the medieval classical bullshit. Even like somebody who started with Zelda might be more oriented towards games like Grand Theft Auto later. I feel like it all kind of stems from that, but not necessarily. One way or the other. But yeah.
Yeah, well, like Ocarina of Time was that one of those first games that really allowed you to open world, explore things. You could swim and cross rivers and shit, and you weren't really held back to the limitations of the game designer like a lot of the side-scrolling platformers were. So
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, man, this has been an awesome podcast. I love having you on here. It's, two great things that I love. Hardcore, heavy metal music, just music in general, and then video games. You've combined them both. You've done a great job at doing it, and your YouTube page definitely shows. So, real quick, anything you want to tell the listeners to check out? Maybe your YouTube, whatever.
Well, my YouTube and all the other guys doing the same stuff I am. I mean, chances are, if you've got a video game song that you want to hear, in a metal setting, somebody's done it. Search up YouTube, find some of these wonderful guitarists that entered this competition. Some of these wonderful guitarists who've been doing it longer than I have, as long as I have. It's crazy. It's just, I mean, there's so much stuff out there.
Yeah, man. Definitely, and I wish nothing but the best for you for this magical year of 2014 that's bringing us all kinds of magic and getting us all together and talking. And I really thank you for being on the show, and hopefully we can do this again.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun, and definitely go check out his YouTube page. It's FamilyJules7X. That's youtube.com/FamilyJules7X. Hit him up on Twitter. Are you on Facebook?
Yeah, dude, same thing. Just facebook.com/FamilyJules7X.
Yeah, man. Get in touch with Jules. Tell him you love him. Listen to his stuff on YouTube and pick up some nostalgia. I'm sure he could use the extra dough from that. So,
dude, the amount of coffee I've been drinking lately, definitely.
Hell yeah. Pitch into Jules' coffee fund. Hit it up, man. Thanks again, man. And to all you listeners, thank you so much for listening to iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and JerradShow.com. Appreciate you checking out this episode. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any episode from anything. We've got a lot
thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate you having here. We've had a lot of fun. We've talked about a lot of cool stuff, especially video games. You can't get cooler than that. So, thanks a lot, everybody. Listeners, have a week.
Hey, if you enjoyed Jerrad on this episode of The Jerrad Show, check him out on my show. It's The Call of Cthulhu. Yeah, I'm Satan's spawn, but he's not, and it's cool. Check us out at callofcthulhu.com.